Hi, everybody. This is Laura Christian Mackey, and I am the Director of Field Education with the Department of Social Work at Springfield College. I was not able to record the Field Supervisor Orientation meeting live this morning due to a technical issue with Zoom and my recent name change. So I'm recording this for you now, and we'll be sending it out. This is for folks who were not able to attend this morning on Zoom, or maybe want this video as a reference for the future. So myself and Lily Greer are the field team of students that are of folks that work with every student in field. Lily Greer is the assistant director. And again, I'm Laura Christian Mackey. The first thing I really want to emphasize is the advanced generalist perspective. I always say that this is one of the most important components of what makes Springfield College unique. And it shapes the way that our program is designed in terms of the activities that students do in field, as well as the assignments that they complete. And the piece that I'm really proud of is that by the time every student graduates, they are able and prepared to practice in every level and in many different sectors of social work. So every internship is going to include components of micro, meso, and macro work. So we really make sure that students are getting exposed to a range of perspectives and practice experiences. So they do have that wide set of advanced generalist skills. So some updates for the coming year, including a change in the chair of our department. Dr. Lisa Watson is the chair of the Department of Social Work. Dr. Donna Wang will remain as our MSW program director, and Dr. Andrew Skolnick is our BS program director. We have tweaked the macro projects a little bit, and I'll explain that more. So I want you to keep an eye on that. This is probably especially useful for supervisors who may have been supervising for a while, just to know that there are some changes for the coming year. So what I'm going to review otherwise are updates about field seminar for supervisors, our Thrive Scholars program, talk about the role of the field supervisor, resources that are available to you, including information about the assignment due dates, just to give you a reference of what we're expecting of students this year. Some discussion on what things to do when students are experiencing challenges or difficulty in their field practicum, what the evaluation process looks like. And lastly, our contacts both in the department and our faculty members that serve as faculty advisors. I'll be sending the PowerPoint out along with this recording, so you'll have access to that. And there are hyperlinks included in the PowerPoint, so you can just click on those and they'll take you to the resources that we're talking about. One thing I will say is that, with our program being small and very relationally focused, all faculty advisors are both academic as well as internship advisors. So they're really going to be the person that's the most direct contact for you and the student as it relates to the internship piece. So this fall, we have some exciting speakers coming, either virtually or on campus. For those who may not know, we were really honored and humbled to receive a $300,000 grant from Boston Children's Hospital's Collaboration for Community Health. They created grant opportunities focused on reducing barriers and increasing access to diverse social workers who are serving children, youth and families. So there's lots of components to this program. I've included the link to the program, information about the program itself. Each year, we're able to pick 10 students who will serve as our Thrive Scholars for the year, and they receive almost $11,000 in scholarships. They have internships where they're focused on working with children, youth, and families. They're paired with a mentor. We're going to give them additional licensure prep and coaching, and they'll also be able to attend this workshop series that's available for the community. So I wanted to extend an invitation to all of you, whether you want to come in person or join us on Zoom for any of these 3 fall speakers. We'll also have a series of 3 speakers in the spring as well. So the first speaker is coming to us from Greece and will be on campus the first weekend of weekend classes. And then we have 2 more speakers in October and November, and we're really excited about that. If you are supervising a student in a first-year internship, they may be eligible to apply for Thrive, so definitely check in with them about that. we will make sure students know about this opportunity. So I also wanted to highlight the seminar and field instruction that we offer for field supervisors every year. There's an agreement amongst different schools of social work that we recognize each other's CIFI certification. So if you potentially want to supervise a student in another school of social work and they require this to be a supervisor, if you've completed the CIFI with us, then you've met that expectation. This is just to give you a snapshot of the kinds of topics that we go through. It's a once a month virtual meeting. There's a little bit of work that you will do self-paced in between each meeting. And it's a really wonderful opportunity to get intentional training and guidance around supervision and professional development in that area, as well as increase your network and connect with other peers and colleagues in the field who will be supervising too. It will start in September. I have a few more slots left, so if you want to sign up, the link is included in this slide. So in terms of the macro project, when students are in their first year internship, it's more focused on community, and second year it's focused on administration. The concept of them designing and implementing a project has not changed. However, we were more intentional about incorporating the upcoming EPOS, the 2022 EPOS, which include anti-racism, diversity, equity, and inclusion amongst the core competencies in social work practice. So any project that a student designs, we want them to incorporate that in some way, serving historically marginalized communities, increasing diversity, equity, and inclusion. So the first year project, again, we want students to be thinking about and identify need that would benefit the community that your agency serves. And this could be developing an intervention, a resource, or something like that. This is an opportunity for a student to kind of gain more skills in an area that they're passionate about, or utilize certain talents that they already have, or maybe help your agency with a project that you've been wanting to implement for a while, but haven't necessarily had the person power to do so. The administrative level project is focused on your organization. So I always think about it as more related to policies, service delivery, training, development, and support of staff. So in this regard, it helps students as they're progressing more to the level of thinking about leadership, program, support evaluation, quality control type stuff. How can they create a program or a resource or something that will support the organization and its implementation of service in the training and supporting of staff, and those kinds of things. So we have some examples included on both slides to give people ideas of things that could be kind of in the realm of what we're looking for. So in terms of the role and responsibility of field supervisors, I wanted to highlight thinking about what your initial training and onboarding plan is. That initial stage is really important, making sure that students get grounded and oriented and that there's mutual and set expectations about what the plan is. Especially talking about initial safety plans or crisis plans, who students can contact if you happen to not be available, so that they know what the expectations are. And if you have HIPAA trainings or trainings around protected information, making sure that students are getting access to that. One of the most important components is that supervisors, the primary supervisors, should be meeting individually with the student for 1 hour a week for supervision. That can be virtual. And one update we've incorporated this year in the timesheet, students will be documenting that they're getting that weekly hour of supervision. If you're out more than 1 week, there should be a substitute supervisor. And if you're out for more than a couple weeks, that absolutely has to happen. It can't go more than a week without supervision, or the student's hours might not be able to be counted. In addition to providing that one-on-one supervision, helping the student with the initial learning contract, either by collaborating on writing it together or providing them input and feedback, and ultimately you'll need to sign and approve it before they submit it to their faculty advisor. Students will also be completing 6 process recordings each semester, 2 of which they have to submit to their faculty advisor each term. And on these two, they have to have written feedback that's provided from you on these documents. For the other 4 each term that they don't have to submit to their faculty advisor, the 2 of you can review those verbally. The written feedback's not required, but you're certainly welcome to do that if that's what works for you in your process. There will be a site visit each semester with you, the student, and the student's faculty advisor. Those are virtual most often as well. Our expectation is that they happen in the fall semester. Faculty advisors will reach out to students, and students will be responsible for coordinating that between you and the field advisor as well. In the spring semester, there should be a visit as well, unless everything is going absolutely great. There's no questions or concerns, students moving forward to successfully completing the year. And if all parties agree that a second site visit is not needed, then that's okay. But if anyone, you, the student, the faculty advisor, feels like there would be benefit to meeting, that can happen. And if for some reason a meeting needs to happen, separate from either of those site visits, that can happen as well. Students are definitely going to need your support and guidance with the community and administrative project. The other component that's new this year is students will have to submit a proposal by the end of the fall semester, solidifying what their project's going to be. So, and that will go to the faculty advisor for approval. They will often implement the project in the spring semester, but completing the proposal in the fall will help move them along in the process of solidifying and then being ready to implement the plan that they've developed. The field supervisor is also responsible for completing 2 evaluations, one at the end of the fall semester, one at the end of the spring semester. I'm happy to say we've been working on streamlining those, so they'll be a little bit more concise this year, but still focused on key components. They will come out to you by email about a month before the semester ends. And as long as a student has completed 80% or more of the expected hours, and you feel like you have had enough time to observe everything that's needed to complete the evaluation, then it's okay to submit those a little early. We just want to give folks enough time to be able to get them done. When they're completed, you automatically receive a copy. So does the student and the faculty advisor. The student is then required to upload that into Brightspace, which is our learning management system, where we keep records of everything in one place. This is not a requirement, but just wanted you to know that there are checklists in the field practicum workbooks that include initial orientation or information you might want to review in the beginning of the internship, as well as a sample agenda that could be used for supervision. Again, it's up to you exactly how you want to structure that, but this gives maybe you and the student some information to think about or review and discuss further. So again, agendas are encouraged, active participation on the part of the student is encouraged. It's an opportunity to reflect on updates throughout the week, occasionally to talk about nuts and bolts and additional training stuff, but also then to guide the student more in their learning, their self-reflection, and really dig deep and push themselves in the learning process. If your agency offers group supervision as well, that's wonderful. But we consider it in addition to or above and beyond the 1 hour one-on-one supervision that needs to happen. So within the field practicum, this slideshow, what's it called? PowerPoint. There are links to each of these things here. Otherwise, you can just Google Department of Social Work Field Education, and we do have a web page where everything is linked within. But I wanted you to know that we do have this web page. There's one specific link also with some information for supervisors, but all the assignments and documents are on the main field page. There are field practicum workbooks dedicated to each year, and those are compilations of the templates that are used for assignments that the students also have access to in their learning, online learning platform. But these are a really good reference just to be able to see everything in one place, including like a really concise check sheet of what are all the assignments and due dates. The field practical manual is also a very useful resource. Field practice course professors will be reviewing those with students this fall. We will also be giving students field orientations virtually. And it's mandatory. They have 2 options to attend, either the week before classes start or the week that classes start. This slide is just meant to give you a sense of how the assignments are distributed. Students should first be focusing with you on developing the learning contract. Again, it's a really good opportunity to develop shared expectations. It's also important to talk about the dates of when the students are going to start and end, and talk about expectations over the winter break and spring break. We typically expect students to complete hours over that period unless they've explicitly discussed it with you and it makes sense in terms of the practice and the type of work that you do. But we do want to make sure students get a break between the fall and spring semesters, so at least a couple of weeks off is ideal. But it's most important that they talk with you going into it. You all both know what the plan is, and that students are going to be moving along and progressing with their hours. We also have process recordings due at 2 different dates in the semester so that we can see scaffolding and building and growth throughout the semester and throughout the year. So unfortunately, sometimes challenges do arise, and my hope and my philosophy is that communicating more often and sooner rather than later is always best case scenario. Sometimes we don't know things are happening and therefore we can't help or intervene. So I think this is where our relationships and open communication are really important. Sometimes supervisors are hesitant to reach out, or students are hesitant to reach out because they just want things to get better, or they're worried about confrontation. But honestly, the opportunity to really talk about things openly and see what solutions are available tends to be the most productive way to address things. So in terms of our process that we coach students around, or what we expect, is that if the student has concerns, that they should first discuss it with their field supervisor directly. And then if they need to, talk to their faculty advisor. And then if necessary, they can loop us in, either Lily or myself. The same goes for field supervisors. If there's a concern, please talk to the student directly, consider them looping in the faculty advisor, and then the Office of Field Education if needed. If you're really having concerns about students' progress or how their evaluations are going to look, it's best that you're talking with them about that, especially before evaluations are completed at the end of each semester, so that those reports don't come as a surprise to them. And again, giving them opportunity to see those challenges as areas for learning and additional growth, because that's the point of practice and engaging in internships at the end of the day. We do have other processes that we employ if there's higher level concerns, but again, consulting with us first is the most important piece of that. So I already kind of explained this, but the evaluations will come to you towards the end of each semester. These evaluations confirm that students are completing the required activities in field, and also provide an opportunity for you to evaluate how they're progressing in terms of the specific competencies that are required by the Council for Social Work Education. Donovan McCrae helps us maintain this system. We use something called Qualtrics for this. So he'll send them out and he can be contacted if there's any specific technical issues. Again, if students have finished 80% of their required hours for each term, then it's okay to go ahead and finish the evaluation. Here's the list of full-time faculty that serve in the role as faculty advisors. Their email addresses and phone numbers are listed here. We will ask faculty to reach out to you as well so that you have their contact information. Students that are returning students will know who their faculty advisor is already, and students who are starting the program this fall will be informed of who their advisor is right around the start of classes. If for some reason you don't know who that person is, you can reach out and ask us at any time. Otherwise, again, myself and Lily, our resources are available. Jackie LaHoulier is our incredibly valuable administrative associate. I'm sure many of you have heard from her because she helps us with the official agency acceptance forms and the affiliation agreements. A lot of times when we're sending out mass emails, she will send them out for me on behalf of the Office of Field Education. Donovan McCrae also helps us out with the evaluations. Dr. Lisa Watson is the chair of the Department of Social Work. And again, Dr. Wang is the MSW program director, and Dr. Skolnick is the BSW program director. So Since I'm recording this, I won't go on too much about this, but I just want to say thank you for the work that you do. We cannot make our program possible without these opportunities. We know that field supervisors are an instrumental part of instructing and guiding and supporting our students in their learning and growth. We look forward to celebrating you specifically in a field supervisor appreciation breakfast in the spring semester. But hope you will also reach out to share if there's any exciting things happening, acknowledgements you want to make of students in terms of their projects or successes that they're having. And just in general, stay in touch because we look forward to working together and hope that everybody has a wonderful year. I hope this video was helpful for you. And again, don't hesitate to reach out. Thank you so much for your time.